And 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm Simone Smashit, your host for today. And today I am doing interviews for the Knights of the Living Glitch art show. And with me now is Jarid. Jarid, do you have a artist name that you normally go by?
Yeah, it's jrdsctt, but it's all the vowels are taken out. It's jrdsctt, so you could say jrdsctt if you want.
Yes. Very trendy thing going on right now. No vowels. We're done with
Vowels
them.
are out.
They're so out. 2018 says no. Okay. So, wonderful. I want to say it the way, how do you say it without vocals? Or without vowels?
It'd be just like jrdsctt.
Jrdsctt. Jrdsctt. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, well, why don't you tell me just a little bit about your art and how you got into it?
I guess I've been doing art since like 2007. I went to college for it up in Duluth, and I don't know, I started off with a passion in photography, and then I kind of quickly grew a little bored of photography, so I was trying to find ways to break it or make it look more interesting, and I kind of stumbled on glitch art and distorting images and breaking them and trying to rebuild them into something new.
Definitely. What made you bored of photography?
You know, the school that I went to, they were really trying to push a conceptual program, which I appreciated, but being in Duluth, it's hard not to just take pictures of the lovely scenery all the time. And I love landscape and nature photography, but I just wanted something a little different. So I think that kind of, boredom sounds kind of mean, but it's just kind of like,
it's honest.
It's a little, just kind of felt trite after a while, and I always enjoyed distorting realities and breaking things, and so.
Me too.
Yeah.
I can see you. Did you end up once you realized that you were kind of over photography, like ripping up your images and like piecing them back together?
Oh, that was one of the projects I did kind of, where like, I took a bunch of self-portraits and I burned some of them, crumpled some of them up, wrote on some of them. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
And then, and then how did you stumble across glitch art?
So while I was going to school up there, there was this group called the Photo Alliance, and they hold these little demos to teach new and interesting photo techniques. And one of the nights, one of the students was doing a demo on this thing called JPEG destruction, which is where you take a photo and you open it up in a Word document, and it converts the photo just a bunch of gibberish text. And then you can start to copy and paste and rearrange it. You can type things in it, take sections out, and then you resave it as a photo file. And it's basically like corrupting the data of the image. Yeah. So you really have no control over what happens, but sometimes the image gets blue or green or gets bisected, and sometimes it's so corrupted you can't even look at it anymore. So that was like my first intro to glitch art, and then kind of sparked an interest that's grown over the years.
Absolutely, yeah, no, it was just the moment you were like, oh, this is exactly what I want to be doing. That's awesome. And then since then, how long ago has it been since you first found your passion for glitch art?
I mean, yeah, that was the first time I saw it, but I guess the passion really started probably, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. Okay. I had been kind of in an art rut, and to get myself out of it, I decided that I wanted to, like, I saw a lot of things going on social media of people doing like 1 photo a day, or they take 1 picture a day, or they draw 1 thing a day. And I was like, what's something I could feasibly do 1 of every day? Because a lot of times art can be way more involved, and I don't have all day to sit around and make it. And I'm really good at tinkering around on my computer with photos. So I was like, I'm gonna make 1 glitch photo a day. So for 365 days, I did it. Over that time, I got better at it, and then it kind of grew from just this thing I had to do every day to this thing that I wanted to do every day. That's awesome. So the passion grew just from repetition, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it takes repetition to feel comfortable eventually doing something. So that step is definitely necessary. So then, since then, you are now at Knights of the Living Glitch Art, and that is where I'm first meeting you. So I haven't gotten to see like this whole restructuring from photography to first finding your passion to now. So would you say you've gone through any major like transformations within your art? Like, was there a certain type of glitch art you used to be into, and then all of a sudden you were like, okay, now I like really doing this?
Yeah, definitely. There's a style of glitch art called pixel sorting, which is kind of what I started doing, where basically it's a program that takes an image and it assigns a light and dark value to every pixel, and then it'll separate them on the...
Yes.
You might have seen it where it's like very liney and
Yeah.
like streaks of color.
Yes.
So I started, that's kind of like where I started my one the day for a year project, and I really liked doing it, but I found it kind of got, again, boring because I was doing the same thing every day. So it kind of caused me to look into other ways to do it, and I think I've evolved quite a bit since then, because now instead of just doing one thing to an image, I use multiple computer programs in varying different ways to make my images. So I think my work's got a lot more complex.
Yeah, adding different elements.
Exactly.
Over time.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, okay. So, okay, and then so now you focus more on, do you still do like pixel sorting within your art, or what is it?
Yes. Pixel sorting is still an essential part of it, but it's just the first step in a series of steps.
Okay.
I've also brought in the process called Databending, where I do it through an audio program actually. So instead of kind of like the JPEG destruction where you take a photo and open up in a Word document, now you're taking a photo and opening up in an audio program, and it converts the photo into a sound wave, and then you apply audio filters, as in like if you were mixing or mastering a song, and then resave it as an image, and it creates really weird, cool looking things. Yeah.
That's awesome. I definitely want to try that. That was so
yeah, there's a lot of tutorials online.
Yeah.
Databending through Audacity is one of the best ways to do it, and it's a free program you can download.
Yeah, yeah. Very familiar with that.
Oh, I'm sure you know Audacity, being a musician.
Yes, yes. Okay, so, okay, that was kind of your process. Okay, what would you say is your favorite part about doing what you do when it comes to creating art, and then what's your least favorite?
Okay, so my favorite part is probably finding new ways to do it. I'm someone where, like, if I find something easy, I tend to lean into it because it's easy to do, and it's nice finding something new because it kind of forces me to get out of a routine. So I always love learning new techniques and trying to expand my knowledge. And my least favorite part is probably the whole selling and marketing yourself part of it. I would like to make a living doing this, so it's kind of a necessary evil, but it's a lot of work, like selling yourself on social media and trying to get yourself out there, and then one day you post a picture and it gets 200 likes, and the next day you only get 50, and it's like, what am I doing wrong?
Like,
and
what is the algorithm?
Yeah, exactly. I know the true algorithm is the social networks want you to pay money.
Yeah,
if I give Instagram $5, I'll get way more likes, but I don't want to feed that machine.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's always, I get like 1 million likes on like a crap selfie that I post of myself. And then when I post my new songs, it's like 3 people. I'm like, awesome. Thank you.
I totally know that feel.
Yeah, yeah. What would you want to see in terms of like a marketing world for artists? Like, how could someone or some program or some company better help artists?
Well, it's really, I feel like it's going to be very hard to have a utopian artist social network when we live in a capitalistic society, because the dollar is going to rule everything at the end of the day. There is a website, it came out a few years ago, trying to brand itself as a replacement to Facebook, called ELLO. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's ELLO. And their whole thing was, it was kind of right when like the Facebook security and privacy stuff was exploding, so they're like, you own all your content and we're not gonna sell your stuff to advertisers. And they didn't really take off, so they kind of rebranded themselves as a social network for artists.
Oh.
And I've really grown to love that community. I think they're doing a lot of really cool things, and unlike Facebook where if you post something on it, they somewhat own it in some weird vague way. On LO, the artists retain 100%. Like they can't use your images for their own promotion without your permission. So I would say they're the nearest thing to like a perfect social network out there for artists. I just wish they need a bigger community surrounding them.
Yes.
So
I mean,
everyone make LO accounts.
Literally, yes. Like honestly, that's how it's going to happen is by word of mouth.
Exactly.
So I'm glad that you mentioned that. There's a huge market for artists and what they need.
Totally.
So I'm glad that you are making the steps to find that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh gosh. I'm lost. Oh yes, marketing. Okay. So what do you do now to help promote yourself? Like just Facebook and so
Yeah, the slog of posting stuff online. Every weekday I try to post a new picture, and then the first half of my day is making the picture, and the second half of the day is posting on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Reddit, DeviantArt, LO, and yeah, I understand why people start to form teams and hire people to be your social marketing person, because it's half of the work right there.
And there are also sites that allow you to post to all of your different networks all at once, but you do have to pay them.
Yep, you do have to pay them for that too. Exactly.
I know, it's just like we can't have any convenience without it costing money. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, what would you see like now we're going back to your art, what would you see like your universe of your art being? What does it contain? How do you get there?
Well, I can tell you where it started, I think.
Okay.
My whole obsession with distorting reality really started when I was a little kid. In second grade, I found out I had really bad eyesight, so I had to get these big old thick glasses. And one of my favorite things to do at nighttime was driving around, take the glasses off, and it's like looking at a blurry picture. All the lights become these giant glowing orbs. And it was kind of like this secret little world that only I could see if I took my glasses off. And I found that once I started getting into photography and I found ways to try to recreate those images I could see without my glasses with the camera, it started making me think like, what other ways can I distort reality? So my universe is kind of a way, it's a distorted reality, but I never want to go full abstract. I always want to see how far you can push it while still making things recognizable. So I guess my universe is kind of this blurry, colorful world that's still slightly recognizable.
Yeah. I like that.
Thank you.
That's a cool way to describe it.
Thank you.
I do have a place only I can see. I mean, that's the whole thing, like each person, you have no idea what they're perceiving.
Exactly.
And that's so cool that we all have these different ways of communicating with each other that when we're trying to explain to each other, like, yeah, I'm seeing this. Like, are you seeing this? How are you seeing it? Yeah, like I know that's green and you know that's green, but what does your green look like?
Exactly.
So that's a really cool way of explaining it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
But you can't tell me where, that's how your universe started, but you can't tell me where it is now.
Well, I guess where it is now is me constantly trying to capture and share that universe and share it with people. Okay. All the images I make would try to be like, this is how I see the world. How can I actually show it to someone else? How can I actually tell you that what my green looks like, and how is that similar, different to your green kind of thing?
Definitely. Very cool. Well, that's definitely what I'm into with like the simulation and music. I love being able to show other people like what other people's realities look like. So that is very cool.
Awesome.
And that's another big reason why I like glitch art.
Oh.
Yes. So before we end things, my last question, what is your purpose?
Ooh.
I know it's a really loaded question.
I mean, I guess it's a really easy question in some ways, because I kind of see the world where I don't think there's a grand purpose.
Mm.
So, you know, make your own purpose. So I guess my purpose, kind of going back, is sharing my universe with the rest of the world and anyone who's interested in seeing it. Kind of make your own purpose.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I guess there's a caveat to that, because to make your own purpose, but also do good. Like,
right. I mean, there's the chaos theory. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like once you mention one thing, it opens up a bucket of other questions.
exactly. But yeah, like share your universe, but also leave the world a better place than it was when you first got there.
Mhm.
So
Definitely.
that's definitely.
Yes. Thank you, Jarid. Come see him and his art tonight at Knights of the Living Glitch Art. Follow him on social media. And thank you, and see you later. Stay tuned for more interviews.
Thank you.